Serious, what is the harshest truth you've ever learned? You can do everything right, give something 100% effort, follow all the rules and still fail. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. Jean-Luc Picard, CPT USS Enterprise NCC 1701D. Being the hardest worker will not always equate to you being the one rewarded or recognized for accomplishments. I literally bust my ass at my job, but my manager is never around to see me. He also knows nothing about the area I work in. I had to leave early to go to the ER with a kidney infection. Then of course couldn't make it back to work for a few days. That was all the proof he needed to call me a lazy worker that slacks off because, in his words, we have a business to run. If you're wondering where I work, it's a fucking Walmart deli. And even worse, sometimes, people put in way less effort than you and they achieve more or are naturally better at it than you are. I believe practice helps anyone improve at anything, but some people are naturally smarter, stronger, faster, and better than you are at things that really matter to you. That one stung. That no matter how much you care for and value someone, they're never obligated to be the same to you, especially friends. That one stung. That sucks that you went through it too. 30 years of friendship and they just ghosted. Broke my heart. I've been feeling this lately. Seems like I've been there a lot for my friends, but they're never even noticing that things haven't been right for me lately. Just a sad reality, I guess. I feel that one. I care about my friends infinitely more than they care for me. Yes, this was like a bucket of cold water dumped on me. My husband and I are friends with a couple, we feel really close to them, our kids love each other. We have very similar family values. When the wife had surgery, I was pretty emotional privately. There was a risk of the surgery going horribly wrong. In my head I was thinking that if they ever needed us to, I would take care of their kids in a heartbeat, no question about it. Her surgery went well, she recovered well, but my husband and I have no family in this country, and we tentatively asked them if they would consider being named legal guardians for our kids, and crickets. I'm not bitter about them not saying yes, because it's a huge thing to ask anyone. I just feel stupid for thinking that my deep feelings for them were reciprocated when they weren't. I still care deeply about them, but I've learned not to assume it goes both ways. Don't fall in love with potential. Learned this the hard way. Crossed my own personal boundaries just because I was holding on to a person's potential. Never again. What is the potential here people are talking about? Amen. The weakness of the optimist. I did fall in love with my husband's potential. I just happened to be one of the lucky 1 in a million it worked out for. 10/10 don't recommend it. Most people do not change. It was a really hard fucking road. Mental illness is no joke. His willingness to seek help and try medication was everything. To anyone out there struggling, please start talking to someone about what you are going through. Life can be so much more than struggle, and it is okay to need help figuring it out. If somebody doesn't want to be helped, you can't help them. This one hurt with a suicidal brother. I just lost my brother to suicide last month, a day before his 29th birthday. He was my only biological sibling. Thank you for writing this. Same. Hurts too deep. Sending you love. I got a suicidal friend who I deeply care for. I'm not gonna survive when she is gone. It feels so helpless that I can't do anything. That even thought people are hanging out with you doesn't mean that they always actually like you. I figured that out when I used to hang out with this girl, and one day she just came up to me and told me that it's annoying how I always hung around her and the other girls, and that I should probably just go away because a lot of the other girls didn't like me either. I had such a hard time trusting people after that. I didn't want to go to stuff like sleepovers or hang out after school with kids in high school even if they did invite me, because I just had that voice in the back of my mind telling me don't hang out with them, they're only inviting you to be polite. Just decline, they'll have more fun without you. This happened to me too. This kid in high school and me were like best friends. Every day after school he pushed me to go with him to his house and play video games. His mom took me with him and his brother and sister to Six Flags amongst a bunch of things. For months I felt like I was part of that family until one day, as we were going out of the classroom to lunch break, this dude exploded and shouted _why are you always following me? It's like I can't get rid of you, _ and yet it hurt like hell, as I didn't know what I did wrong or how I managed to make this dude feel sick about me hanging with him, especially when I felt like we were having such a great time. The situation made me incredibly stiff. I managed to have a solid group of friends that have lasted for 15 years, but amongst us, I was the cold, sarcastic one because was always overthinking about everything. I've worked a lot to change that, and now that I'm 26, I feel like I'm finally carefree and spontaneous around others. What an awful thing to say to you. People who usually say that tend to be miserable in their own lives too. I hope you have a better group of friends now. That you never know when the last time is until it is too late. Last time you hugged a friend. Last time you said I love you. Last time your kid crawled in bed for cuddles. Last time your parents called to chat. Last time you had a great time with someone before. Even the last times you look forward to end up passing by, and mark the finality of time. I am not sure what the date was when I changed my last kid's diaper, but my babies aren't babies anymore. Last time your parents called to chat. My father has suffered from dementia for the better part of a decade now. On my birthday, every year, he would call and tell me the story about how he was at work when my mom went into labor. How the foreman called out asking if someone by my dad's name was there. And, when my dad said yes, the foreman yelled, "Well, you better get to the hospital, because you're about to be a dad." The knife that made me realize he would never be my dad again was the year he forgot my birthday, and that I realized he'd never tell me that story again. But I also got a very happy moment when I thought I'd never see his handwriting again. And found an old birthday card he'd written me with the words, "You and me. Always." Nostalgia is a liar. Are you telling me Dunkaroos aren't as good as I remember? Sometimes though, nostalgia is the best thing. I have a weird thing with visuals, smells and tastes bringing out really vivid memories of my childhood pretty often like daydreams, and it feels really home-y, safe and wonderful. I am nowhere near as smart, nice, or likable as I thought I was to myself. This is also the first step to becoming a smarter, nicer, and more likable person. To be fair, this is true of most people. Every organization, no matter how lauded, how aspirational, how trusted, is still at the end of the day comprised of very fallible humans. That's a good one to call out. People spend so much time trying to tear down generally good things because they don't like what some employee or volunteer did in a moment of weakness. The company my father worked for until he retires had this as their motto. They were hardcore. Every quarterly review they were shown a book of the gruesome aftermath of engineering failures. Loving someone unconditionally and being willing to do anything for them doesn't mean that they will feel the same way about you. You can't love someone into loving you back. Also, loving unconditionally can lead to codependency very quickly. Life is short. You grow up hearing this over and over again, but until you reach a certain age you don't have the perspective to fully grasp this. The mid-30s hit hard. Life is short. But it is the longest thing you'll ever do. I disagree, life is long. The longest thing you'll experience. Youth is short. By the time you realize your youth is over, most of your dreams are dead. Sometimes the nicest people just seem to get fucked over by the universe through no fault of their own. Edit. I know being nice can lead to you getting screwed over by people willing to take advantage of it, but I'm more referring to random happenstance like someone gets run over by a drunk driver, gets killed in a terrorist bombing/attack, getting cancer/other diseases. That's more what I'm referring to. Conversely, sometimes the assholes inherit the earth and you can't do anything about it. Doing your best and giving it your all doesn't always mean things will turn out the way you want. Sometimes things just go bad. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness, that is life. Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Don't take anything for granted, things change so fast and life is really short. I remember having so many friends not that long ago, who are now strangers. A big one for me is how many last times you are going to have, and how often you won't realize it is a last time. Things can change so fast. Go bowling every Monday? Have a convention you and your friends go to yearly? Hang out regularly with the same people? One day is going to be the last time it happens, and almost without fail you will not know. Then you go days without talking to someone, then weeks, then months, then one day you realize that you aren't really friends anymore. No major fallout, just your lives are no longer compatible. Yet I remember being in a fun class in college, and on the last day of class, I realized we would never see each other again. We weren't all close enough to really hang out. But as a small class, it was a fun group. We were all from different cities and some were from different countries, so it was truly the last time we would all be together. Very sad, but life goes on. We will never go back to the same moments. Even if we do have a reunion later, it will be different. We will not be young anymore, we will be different, we will not talk about the same things, we will have grown apart.
Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.